Hello, everybody. Welcome to the On Second Thought Sports show. We are here again for another episode. We're very, very excited. As you can see, we got the studio full, and the information is going to be full. I'm sure that the conversation is going to be full. We are going to go after it today. There's a lot going on. NBA playoffs is obviously in full swing as we kind of head down the mountain now, and I'm still got my New York Knicks shirt on. The boys were just saying, Dad, you had the same shirt on for the last 4 shows. I'm going to continue to wear this shirt until either we win it or we're gone. But I got a partner in crime today who's going to be wearing it as well. So let's go around the room really quick and introduce ourselves. I'm Elliot.
I am Mark Jackson.
I'm Aaron. I am Anthony.
I'm Isaiah, and I have Knicks pants on. You can't see it, but I'm still repping New York.
But he got his White Castle shirt on, so we give him a pass on that one.
The same colors.
There you go.
White Castle.
That's it.
That's why he's sitting over there.
So we're excited. We're excited to have Mark and Anthony back on the show. We have been talking about them quite a bit every show. Their name does kind of come up, and because we had such a spirited show, and when they was here, and so much has happened since they have left. But I want to kind of start the show off right at the top and get back to some of the referrals and some of the things that we've been kind of going through. And I said, I'm gonna call this part "Challenges and Apologies" on air. So. I've been kind of waiting for this moment. We've had a few shows since, and I've been letting Aaron kind of, slide. So I want to be official today, and I would like to receive my apology in front of everybody. So you can go ahead and do that.
I'm sorry, sir, for telling you that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to go into the finals.
Thanks. So, that we got that one out of the way. Does anybody else have any call-outs or on anything that came up in the past since everybody is here before we move on? Anybody want to get anybody?
Yeah. Mr. Marks fraudulent the Lakers team that was set to go to the finals with Dalton Kmet and Austin Reeves and whatever. That was not the case.
That was awful.
Nah, it was definitely awful. But listen, listen. It wasn't their fault. You gotta take that. You gotta take. It was the head of that. I'm gonna put it straight on the coach, straight up. There was no going around it. It was the coach.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. I think we got a lot of that going around where coaching is a little bit of a problem. But let's start at the top. Where,
hold on. We owe one big old apology to Mr. Mark, especially Aaron, because when they were on the show, everybody laughed at the idea that the Knicks would even be this far.
That's true.
And he did call it, so we all owe him a big apology.
I don't want to throw it in your face. It's okay. It's okay. I don't want to throw it in your face. Okay? It's okay.
That's true. And I got my New York Knicks shirt on, but Mark was definitely, he definitely was hard. He went hard for them, and he said that, he saw them being in the position that they are in. I definitely did not see them beating the Boston Celtics. I know you guys weren't here. We did talk about that a little bit. Since you guys are here, we just get a little final wrap up on that and what you guys thought about the Boston Celtics series and the Knicks sending them home. That was just, again, Marks, he called it. He said he felt like they could beat the Celtics. I did not see that happening, regardless of injuries or whatever the case may be, which we talked about that and said, that wasn't really a factor. They did beat them with Tatum being healthy. So, your thoughts on that? What do you think about the Celtics and Knicks?
I thought it was a good series, and again, I think that with the Knicks, it's up and down with the Knicks. But I definitely saw that they had an edge on Boston. The Knicks are very, very talented team.
Yes.
At that, the way Tibbs did that, played defense on them, just playing the 3-point line, it was excellent. Excellent, because I couldn't see nobody else on Boston that can drive to the basket. Everybody on Boston, only thing they can do is shoot threes. And it's, hit or miss. And I think that he played that series really well. And again, I knew the Knicks was going to come at it.
He did. He called it. And your thoughts on the Knicks and the Boston? Did you see that coming going into the series?
I did not see that coming. Dude, they 20-point deficit coming back. Both those series at their curve.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming at all.
That was insane.
Insane.
That was insane.
Insane. Let's go. Let's talk a little bit about what we got on the table right now. I'm really itching to talk about that. This one is hot, obviously. You know, right off the press. Last night, the boys and I, we were out, so we came in late, but we made sure that we watched the game and you know, it is what it is. But let's hold on a second. Let me let them get their piece in first, because we talked about the pre-setup to this series. So I want to kind of get, you guys heard us talk about that last week. So I want to kind of get that piece about what you guys think about the Indiana Pacers going into this series. You know, just to wrap it up, I felt like the Knicks can beat them, but I think the Indiana Pacers are a very dangerous team because they're hot. And I stated that, you know what, they're a team that if you run that thing close, they have some dangerous plays going down the stretch. So let me go to Mark and then Anthony. What do you guys think about the Indiana Pacers going into the series? Anyone want to go first?
I'll go first. Oh, man, game one. Off a game winner, I didn't think that was gonna go in.
Yeah.
But it's on the Knicks though. They were up by like 14 with 3 minutes to go. Like, how? Like, it doesn't get easier than that to close it out. Yeah. But also, it came down to the defense. Nesmith really stepped up. I think he won them that game.
No question.
No question.
Neesmith.
Oh, yeah,
no
question.
No question.
But yeah, Halliburton, he's no joke. But like, I feel like that shot at the end was just insane.
What do you think about the Indiana Pacers as a team? I mean, going into the series, did you feel that, you know, the Knicks was going to roll over them?
I honestly thought they would actually kind of roll over them. I thought it would be a good series. I think it's going to be a good series, but I didn't think they were going to take both Knicks as home games.
Yeah, no question about that.
But otherwise, like, I remember my friend texted in the group chat. He's like, he was at the game. He was like, all right, yo, as soon as he hit that shot, man, the whole stadium went.
That was sad.
It went quiet, man.
Yeah, that's like a balloon getting busted.
New York ain't never been that quiet.
Marky, your thoughts on the Indiana Pacers first, just as a team. Again, go and listen. Like I told the guys, they put the Milwaukee Bucks out. Granted, they didn't play, but they put them out. If Milwaukee would have beat Indiana, I don't think anybody would have said like, "Oh, I'm surprised." I think to me, going into that series, a lot of people have Milwaukee still picked to beat Indiana. They felt like, "Well, they can beat Indiana without Dame, and then they're going to need Dame." I think that was the thought going in, and then they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, who some people were saying we're going to make it to the finals. Mm-hmm. So, your thoughts on Indiana first, just as a ball club? What do you think about them?
Okay. As a ball club, I think they move the ball. There is no singled out person on there. We know Halliburton is the star.
Yes.
But he's the star for a reason. You're a star of a team, just not because you shoot the ball well, not because you get 30, 40 points, because you make the right decisions.
Yeah.
You put the ball in the right people's hands. Yeah. And that's the reason why the Pacers are successful in where they are now.
Yeah, they're also a really fast-paced team also.
Okay. Yeah, and they run, and they're a fast-paced team. Yeah. But that's the real reason why they are now. Now, did I think the Knicks were going to run over them? I did. After coming from Boston, the Boston series, this is not a problem. But then again, I look at the coach. I say, well, they got this. What's he going to do? Like 50-50. Sometimes he does the right thing, sometimes he does the wrong thing. Look at the first game. There's no way in the world they were beating them by 14 points with less than 5 minutes in the game, right? There was about 2 minutes. Yeah, that's unacceptable. Brunson, again, he's a great player, clutch. But sometimes words goes to people's heads. Going underneath screens. When you know this cat is shooting threes, like the whole team shoots threes like crazy. That's the game. Never go underneath that. Tibbs being a defensive bureau, come on, man. You should have called a timeout right there. You know. But again, I think that the Knicks should have ran over them. But there's little things. There's the little things in basketball that matters. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. Aaron, your thoughts? I know you were chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know,
think
last
Tom
time.
Thibodeau should be fired if we lose this series, for sure. The way he just plays defense is just embarrassing to me. I mean, I understand sometimes on the court you're going to have to switch if the guy hits you with the hard pick. But most of the last game, some of these guys, they were fighting through the screen. They picked up on their man, but the dude switched, so now there's double, and then there's somebody wide open every time. They make the extra pass, there's always going to be somebody open for a three. I just think Tim needs to get that under control, because clearly he's not doing anything about it if it's happening every single play. Like, every single screen they set, it's just a switch, and then it's either just Tyrese Halliburton on Mitchell Robinson at the three-point line, or it's just a bad matchup to me.
And it's the same thing in Boston. Same thing in the Boston series. It wasn't.
Yes, it's the same thing. But
Knicks can't play defense on teams that can shoot.
yes,
And I give you mad credit, and I owe you another apology, because you called Indiana Pacers pitch perfect. They will shoot your lights out. And that's what they've done in the Milwaukee series, the Cleveland series, and that's what they've done to us the first two games, especially with Aaron Nesmith, who shot 8 for 9 from 3. Legacy game from him.
3 straight threes in a row.
Like 3
I
straight
think it was
threes.
6.
6 straight
Six.
threes?
Yeah, it was 6.
Yeah, it was.
It's like 6.
That's crazy. And you'd think, this dude just made like 3 threes in a row. I gotta pick up on him.
right.
Nah, he's just wide open in the corner. I don't know what kind of zone defense or whatever he's running, but there's always somebody open on the wing
Right.
every
Right.
single
Right.
time. And like Aaron said, Tim should be fired for that.
Wow.
How are you a defensive-minded coach and something just doesn't click in your head in this 3-point league to guard the 3-point line?
Well, let me put this question on the table, and I would even refer a lot of this to Anthony, who is, a collegiate player and an organized basketball player. And I'm gonna put this around the table because I'm in agreement with what everybody's saying. The boys know I actually get beside myself and I rewind the game right in the middle of it because it's unbelievable to me how, the switching, I've never liked switching. And to me, particularly in the league that we have shooters like we have today, you definitely should not be switching because the guys in the league can shoot like never before. So if you have a guy like Steph Curry, all he needs is a half a second. And so you can't switch that. The only way you can really, no one can go stop that. But the only way you can possibly stop it is that you must fight through the screen.
Stay connected.
But here's the question. Everybody's blaming Tibbs. I'm not taking the guy off the hook. But how much of that now, as a player, in my opinion, you have to you're on the floor. Can't you make that decision to be like, I'm not switching that, bro?
Yeah, the whole time it was just bad switches. Honestly, Tyrese Halliburton. Mitchell on Tyrese Halliburton. Is that a good matchup?
No, he shouldn't be doing that. The big should never be caught up in that. But my thing is this: I think that the NBA as a whole, that's the whole formula in the NBA. You switch every time. That's what the coaches are telling the players. I think that's what, because if you look at every team is pretty much doing that. So to me, as a player, you have to say like, I'm not doing that. Depends on who you have. If I got a Tyrese Halliburton, if I got Steph Curry, if I got Clay, no, you can't switch off that. You have to know that as a player to say, I'm not going to allow that switch to happen. Coach, I'm not doing that.
It's just straight up laziness.
It's just straight up. I agree.
It's laziness
I
and
agree.
NBA, lazy.
I agree.
Basketball on the playground. It doesn't even matter. Because when I play, I'm an old cat out here, but when I used to play ball,
I agree.
I was like, yo, don't switch. I got him. I'm on it like that. I got him.
No, I agree.
No, you do. You have to
do that.
There's the thing. That's why they say when you play basketball, if you want looking to go someplace, coaches look at people that talk.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They talk. If I'm playing and I know you're a shooter and I want to lock you down,
right.
I'm talking. I got him. Don't switch. Don't switch. Do not switch. No, I'm grabbing you.
Yeah.
They're making. Listen. They're lazy. This is straight up lazy. There's no way in the world. Mitchell Robinson. They're switching to get Mitchell Robinson on Halliburton.
Why do you just let him do that?
Why do you just let them do that? You say don't switch.
Don't switch.
Don't switch.
Don't switch.
Yeah.
Even
So
if you
how-
have to foul a guy, sometimes the fight to go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you for mentioning laziness, by the way. Carl Anthony Towns, you better get your act together, man. Because I can call about 3 plays throughout the whole game. Keep in mind, you're on the highest level of playing basketball. I can call about 3 plays where the dude just he switched to nobody.
Yeah.
Like you can at least switch to something. He switched to nobody.
Right, you're right.
And it got to the point where even OG Anunoby. Who was it?
Yeah.
Was it OG on that play?
Yeah.
He had to tell him to go guard him.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
it was Mitch. Mitch
Was it Mitch? Yeah,
yelled
it
at
was
Cat and
Mitch.
said,
Yeah, it was
yo,
Mitch.
pick him up.
It was Mitch, and then the dude got a free lane, free jump.
I think Cat yelled at Deuce to go pick up one of the big men, and
Right.
what's Deuce going to do about that?
Now I don't know why he's not in Minnesota.
Like, are you an idiot?
Right. You're right.
I mean, that's another thing right there. We know why Cat's not. I don't want to get off the kid
No, go
thing,
ahead,
but
go ahead.
listen, this second game, you knew something was they were going to lose if it was 50-50 when Cat came out and he took a 3-pointer.
But he's too big to take it.
He should be shooting.
He shot in the beginning of the game. He got the ball. I think it was his
Remember
first
game
shot.
one?
Game two.
Game two.
As soon as he got the ball, the first shot was a 3-pointer, and I said, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
here we go.
Well, he does that.
Came right
He
out,
sets
yeah.
a pick at the logo.
Yeah.
He comes back and he just pops it with no hesitation. He doesn't even have a slightest bit of hesitation in his shot either. That's also a pity. Like she just the moment the ball touches his hand,
He just lets it go.
Like,
He just lets it go.
he could shoot,
Yeah.
but like
it gets
he's
to a
big.
point.
He should
But,
be
like,
It gets to a point.
Like he
I got-
shouldn't be shooting that many threes
No,
should be taking.
never.
He's not doing that. He shouldn't be.
That's just like bad basketball.
If that's the
That's
key,
really
you
bad
said it right there,
basketball.
and that's the part that's frustrating.
That's
What
really
we're seeing
bad
with the Knicks, a lot of it, and this is where you got to blame the coach. It's just bad basketball. Again, the switching is just Mark. He couldn't have said it better. Like, how do you not know that Mitch Robinson can move pretty good, but he can't guard Tyrese. He cannot guard a guard. And it's just they just automatically okay, let's just switch. Why are you doing that? Why would you let that happen?
How much of it do you put on the players as well? Like you asked.
That's what I was
Anthony,
asking Anthony.
There's been a lot of plays. I don't remember if it was game 1 or game 2, but I was so mad at Carl Anthony Towns because Miles Turner has hit 3 or 4 straight jump shots from the free throw line in the same spot. I'm like, Cat. You know this dude can shoot,
Right.
and he shot the ball in the same spot every single time. And Cat's over here in the paint looking at him like he's an idiot.
And
Well,
And so I was gonna ask my question. What does Tibbs do? Tibbs is obviously going to yell at you, be like, "Yo, pick up on him." Cat's not doing that. Like Aaron has said, Cat is lazy. So Tibbs is a very good defensive coach, but your players need to be defensive minded as well.
Well, clearly it's not. How do I say it? It's like Tibbs is clearly not telling the players to like not switch because there's not.
I agree.
Not even Cat. There's not a single player on that roster
I
that
agree.
doesn't switch.
I agree.
Like I feel like it's more.
But that's why
it's
I'm
really
saying.
more It's fault.
Here we go with our old school stuff. But if you listen to, and there's like clips of Jordan in a huddle and him interacting with Rodman and telling him like, don't switch on that one. That Phil was not there. Don't switch that. If they run that play again, don't switch that play. I'm going to cover him. That's the type of stuff that as players, to me, you're on the floor. Tibbs is not on the floor. As a player, and Anthony jump in on here, there's just certain things that you know, like, damn, this guy, every time he's doing a certain thing, I know this is what we're supposed to do, but if I'm your teammate, this dude is cooking us with that every time. I know I can get through this one.
It comes
Stand
down
by.
to leadership. Definitely. So you gotta tell your teammates that, yo, you cannot guard him. I'm gonna stay on him. I mean,
And Carl should
that's
know
it.
that.
Does that happen on the floor?
Or you could just
Yeah.
you could guard the guy for a second and tell him, yo, come back, and he switch back on the guy.
How often do you really see that on the floor?
Right.
Where somebody just kind of is like, "Yeah, coach is an idiot. He don't
Right,
know what
does
he's
that-
doing."
Right.
Right now, do this and do this. How often do you really see that on the NBA floor or college floor?
You don't see that at all.
I kind of figured because
So you're going to
coaches
defer to
coach
what
like
the
your
coach
boss.
is saying. You're saying.
Yeah, usually it'll be like maybe they disagree what he's saying, but like they're gonna still do it.
Got it.
It kind of makes sense. Like coach is your boss. You
But
know,
I
you
just
can't
think
really
that
say
at the pro level,
Yeah, you're at the highest league of basketball.
you're Carl Anthony Towns. I mean, we break his balls and give him a hard time, but I'm Carl Anthony Towns, and I'm an all-star. he should have that say to be like, bro, Jalen, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
And he should know that more than anybody, because that's how he got sent home last year with Luka. He didn't cook him, he could go bare. But that's how he got sent home. We should know that more than anybody else on that floor.
Yeah.
I think out of everybody that's left in the playoffs, I think you can make an argument that we're the best or a second best defensive team, or we definitely have the capability to have that status.
Smart,
you know, OG McCall, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, who's honestly been a real phenomenal piece. Hustle. They can't hold him down low in the paint. It just bothers me why we can't guard guys like TJ McConnell, who is 6 foot, just running past everybody. They almost on the floor and getting layups. He'll have 16 points just on layups, and it really bothers me because it's how OG Anunoby is a defensive player of the year candidate. He was an all defensive candidate. How? I don't understand.
Let's pivot a little bit and talk about again the Indiana Pacers and say that, you know, the boys and we had this conversation and they get on me about it. I'm old school, so I don't like any of the Indiana Pacers. But I said to them, and Aaron attacked me brutally about this. And I said that, and I want to be clear. I want to say this the correct way. I'm not saying that he is. I witnessed Reggie Miller's career. Yeah. Reggie Miller is, on a different level. However, Tyrese Halliburton reminds me of Reggie Miller and what he does going down the stretch in the end of games. He plays freaking big. And him and Reggie talk. And I know that Reggie tells him, bro, this is all you got to do. You keep that game close. And if that game is within 5, going down the stretch, you got it. And that's how he plays. That's what happened in that game 1. He knew. If you watch him throughout this playoffs, he keeps it close. I don't care if he shot 0 for 18. He's that guy that when inside of 2 minutes, he's making it happen. And that is a big problem. And when you have a guy like that, it also elevates the other guys. The kid Naismith, that's what happened with him. He's like, we saw Tyrese do this millions of times, but all we got to do is stay close. And so I just think that credit should be due. And I hate to give them but it is what it is. We have to give Indiana Pacers their due credit. These boys are hot, and they're executing extremely well down the stretch. So how much of it is bad Knicks or good Indiana Pacers?
Now, wait a minute.
Bad Knicks.
All bad Knicks.
Go ahead.
You're saying that Aaron Neesmith 6 straight threes. He was the one who really took that game 1 over in the fourth quarter.
100%.
You're saying,
he had 20 points.
Okay, you're saying that his performance was really inspired by Tyrese in that fourth quarter.
If you go back and you listen to his post-game interviews, he says that. That's not me. Yeah. He says, we play like this because of Tyrese. Yeah. He showed us don't stop, and we seen him execute. That's what a champion, a leader of a team does, and a guy who does that. So, yes, that is inspired by his play. We seen this dude do that mad times. So all we know is we got to keep it close and then let him take over. So, yes, 100%.
That's a true point guard. That's what a guard does.
Yeah.
That's what a guard does. A guard inspires everybody to do their best during that course of the game. When it comes down to it, I can take over this game. I can tell you what, we're guard right now. Magic Johnson. That's one. Yeah. You go back and look at them, what the cats that he had on his team, Worthy to Kupchak to Green to Scott. All these cats, right? All these cats. Some of them they're Silk. All Hall of Famers. You know why they're Hall of Famers?
Why? Because of Magic.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that's the difference between Halliburton and Brunson. Halliburton makes it work with the plays around him, right? The plays around him he makes them better, right? So when it comes down to that, he can go out there and say, I'm gonna do my thing. Jalen Brunson, not a true point guard. Great player, great scorer, not a true point guard. No. Holds on to the ball entirely too much.
No,
You know?
But listen, do you blame that on Brunson or Tibbs?
Huh?
You blame that on Brunson?
Listen, but Brunson is the guard.
Yes.
Brunson's the guard.
He's the guy
He brings the ball.
yes.
You are the one that regulates the game.
Yeah.
But you watch the plays. Brunson has the ball. Everybody's sitting in the corner like a statue.
It's
Why?
still his fault.
Why?
That's Tibbs' fault.
No, why?
How is that Jalen's fault?
Because he's
I
got
want
the
you.
ball.
I got the ball. I want you to move, do something, anything. Set off screens for each other. Do anything.
I'm
you guys
holding
screen
the
for me?
ball, right? We got 4 guys here. I'm the point, right? Boom, boom, boom. All you guys stay in the corner. Yo, Ant, over here. Marky, over here. Aaron, set that screen. That's what should be going on. Why is he not doing that?
That's true.
That's his job to say, yo, I'm not gonna just keep boom, 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 boom. If you're not doing something, hey, get your get down there, get the screen. You know what? Time out. I'm going to hell. Yo, what the hell's going on? What are you doing? That's his job. That's their job. He's on the floor.
Here's the rule. Here's the basketball rule, right? And watch these plays, these teams, these real good teams. 3 seconds. You have the ball in your hand. If you're not ripping, going for a layup or passing it, the ball's not in your hands. The ball's not in your hands. He pounding the ball 15 times. Boom, boom. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If I have the ball in my hand, I'm going to guard. I'm sitting there, boom, 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 looking around. Boom, come set this pick. What are you going to do?
That's just how the Knicks are. Everybody on the team.
And that's why you're losing.
If Mikal gets the ball, he's going to do the same thing. Drive to the paint, then turn his shoulder, and then shoot the paint. If OG gets the ball, he's going to chuck up some nonsense, but he'll make it, which is absolutely insane.
See, here's the thing.
Tibbs,
the Knicks, here's the thing. The Knicks are in trouble. They're in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a good trouble. You know why? They got so many good players on their team.
I agree with that.
They got Bridges. You can't stop that shot.
I agree.
Anunoby, once he gets hot, he's hot.
Yeah.
Towns, you can't. If he don't shoot those threes, he's killing you on the inside.
Which is never. He's never only.
You got Josh.
Right.
Josh is just an all-around player. That right there makes up a great team. You got Brunson. That makes up a great team. A great team. Now, it's how to utilize them. How do you control? That's when it comes down to coaching. How can I coach a great team like this?
Yes.
Now you said Dip should be out there. I said this a long time ago. I said this at the beginning. I said this at the beginning of the playoffs. I said at the beginning of the playoffs.
At the beginning of the playoffs.
How can you coach anybody? Any coach? If you everybody wants to be a coach, right? Okay, good. And they have that one player on their team. Okay, I can teach. I can coach them, which is good. But when you have 5, 6 different players on your team that are that good, how can I put this together?
Yeah.
So that's that. When I say they're in trouble, but it's a good trouble. Mm-hmm. You know, they just have to figure out a way how to utilize that thing. So, can they come out of this right now?
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic about it. They can probably do it. You know, but
come out of the series or their bad performance that they're doing right now.
Come out of the series.
Yeah,
I think they still can.
I think so, but I don't think anything is going to change.
I think we have to win the next 2 though. I think
if
if they get up 3-0 or 3-1,
it's over.
We're screwed.
That's a good point, Aaron. You know, and that's a question, and that's the thing. I agree with you. I think that the Knicks can come out of this, but if they do, to Mark's point, I don't see them changing. They're going to have to come out of it with just doing what they've been doing. And that's why, again, I put the question out there to everybody. I'll let you guys answer it one by one. How much of what's going on here, these first 2 games, again, is bad Knicks, and how much of it is just good Indiana Pacers?
I 100% will say bad Knicks, because don't get me wrong, the Indiana Pacers are playing absolutely amazing. Game 1, I think Tyrese had a 20-point double-double. I don't think it was a triple-double. Next game, he had like 14 and 11, so, we got that down a little bit. But then Pascal Siakam had 40. So,
he was awesome.
I know. So, they're playing really good basketball. Aaron Nesmith, obviously, he had like 30-something the first game. They're playing good basketball, but it's just bad on the Knicks because we're not playing no defense.
I'm surprised.
Our offense isn't as good as it should be. Mikal Bridges doesn't show up till the 4th quarter. OG has been kind of iffy. He's kind of iffy. I think he had like 16 last night. I kind of want that to be up a little bit more. And Karl Anthony Towns is just the worst defender in the entire playoffs right now.
Worst defender, worst player. Straight up, I'm just, I'm being cut you off, but you look at it like this. You see why Minnesota got rid of him, but you know why?
Yeah.
Because you got Randall, which he should be shooting threes and should be going to the basket because he's big.
Correct.
You got Rudy Gobert in the middle that's playing his position, right? They would have had Towns down there. But Towns would have kept going to the top of the key.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So we said, listen, let's get him out of here. We don't need you. It's an even swap. Okay. But that's the reason why he's not with the Knicks anymore.
It's just,
that's what
we're gonna get to that.
I think it's just bad that. I think it's bad that when Aaron was saying it, you know, when you're watching the game, I think they subbed in Cat. Aaron's like, why?
That's not good.
That should never be the case. You're an all-star center. And nobody wants you in the game. We want to keep Mitch. Mitch played 16
Mitch
straight.
Can't put the ball in the hole.
That's the dilemma right there.
Mitch
He played very well.
16 straight minutes. Cat got the longest rest of the entire playoffs. He played 16 straight minutes, and we were playing absolutely great. Then Cat comes back in the game doing whatever he does, and then everything just goes down.
And Anthony, bad Knicks, good Indiana Pacers. Which one?
I feel like I'd say bad Knicks, honestly. Like the first game, they seriously choked that. Also comes down to coaching, as you say.
Yeah.
I feel again like Cat, he cannot be taking all those shots.
No.
He's way too big to be taking all those shots. If I was that big, I posted up everybody. Seriously,
Nobody.
dunking on everybody. That's all I'm gonna say. Mitchell Robinson doing his job.
He's playing.
I agree.
Getting every rebound.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's able, if he could get the rebound, put it back up, something. Yeah.
And he made some foul shots.
He did make some foul shots.
Yep.
He did make some foul shots.
Can't take nothing away from Mitch. Mitch is doing his thing.
No, Mitch is one of the better players in this series.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah, as soon as Mitchell Robinson came out and Cat came back in, I was like,
Pretty sure Mitch out-rebounded Cat.
And why can't Cat do that? Because Cat is just as big.
Because he wants to shoot three-pointers.
He wants to shoot the ball. He wants to get down the floor. He don't like to
Mitch is always in the paint.
Mitch is always in the paint. And Mitchell push somebody. He's dogging.
And when he's out on the perimeter, he's trying his best. You see him.
They be holding him, and he's like, get off me. Because it's just bad, because nobody on the Pacers can guard anybody on the Knicks.
I totally agree.
Nobody on the Pacers can guard anybody on the Knicks.
Winning plays every time.
Aaron.
All those are winners.
Oh yeah,
Bad Knicks.
It's 100% bad Knicks, especially when you got Pascal Siakam dropping 40 on your team. That's
He's not a bum.
not sad.
He been doing this.
Here we
He's
go.
not a bum.
Here we go.
He's not a bum.
Here
But
we
for
go.
him to get
Nobody said
40,
he was a bum. But he's not a 40-point
he's
player.
shooting the same
He's not
shot
a 40-point
all
player.
night.
You're telling me you weren't shocked that Pascal Siakam had 30-something points in 3 quarters? You're lying.
You're lying. When's the last time you watched Pascal Siakam play basketball?
You're lying because we watched the game with you last night. No.
Do not say because of his championship experience, because he got carried by Kawhi Leonard that year.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. He has great playoff experience.
All right, if I told you that Pascal Siakam, random day, 30 points through 3 quarters, would you be shocked?
Okay, maybe a little bit, but like
that's all he did.
He's that guy though.
Would you be shocked?
I wouldn't be shocked.
I would.
30 points through 3 quarters, you wouldn't be shocked.
Oh yeah, 30.3. Yeah, I mean,
3 quarters. I wouldn't say.
That's what he had. 30 points through 3 quarters.
I would see that happening every game before.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Hold on. If you said that to me before the game, of course I'd be like, no. But him doing that, I think that's why me and Andy kind of the same pace. Like, he got that kind of talent. And he knows. That's the thing to me with the Pacers. I never jumped the line just to say that's the thing to me with the Pacers, that the Pacers just understand, like, how to win.
So you're saying good Pacers?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they just understand, like, yo, we know how to do this. And Halliburton said, yo, I'm not going to front. Reggie talks to me a lot. And Reggie knew that. That's why he was such a nemesis in Madison Square Garden. He was like, yo, keep the game close. The Davis boys, keep it close. Larry Bird, keep it close. And Reggie's just going to... And it's funny because Patrick Ewing was kind of like Brunson. And that Pat took a lot of shots. And Reggie knew, going down the stretch, that dude ain't going to be able to outlast me. I guarantee you. Because I know how to hit them big shots.
You don't think coaches play for that?
Yeah.
They don't look at Brunson and say, okay, just let, okay.
Go ahead.
Go right on. Listen, you know that from high school. You just go right ahead. Just go right ahead. Let him do it. Let him do it.
You guys are saying Brunson loses his fire by fourth quarter?
No, I didn't say
No,
that.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is this, that the coaches say, just let him do it. Just let him do it. Because the other players are going to be stagnant, just like you said, they're going to sit in the corner.
Right.
They're not going to know what to do.
Right.
Right? And then when it comes down to first time, they already know he's going to have the ball in their hands.
Right.
No, it's not like he's Michael Jordan.
Right.
You know, Michael Jordan would just dish the ball off to other people, you know, like no-name people, and they hit a three-pointer in the corner. Brunson's going to take that shot. Matter of fact, yesterday, in that game, Anthony told me something like that too. He said there was a play, even though there was 3 people on Brunson.
Oh yeah,
Now, 3 people. Deuce is a 3-point specialist.
Yeah.
Deuce was wide open, even though he made it. But I would rather give it to Deuce to shoot that 3. I would, to have
What's the shot Jalen shot that possession?
It was a fade, I think.
Yeah, I think it
The
was
fade?
play.
Yeah, it was fade, yeah.
Okay.
Sitting right there, he was just sitting there like, he could have, made us a peanut butter jelly sandwich. That's how, I'm saying? But it's like, come on, man.
It's kind of hard to go against Jalen.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, every time he puts that up, it's straight chicken.
I understand that. I understand.
But you're 100% right.
Yeah.
He's going to make it. That's what I said. That they're all great players.
Yeah.
They're all great, but every single one of them can play, and every single one of them can give you 30 points. At any given time. But you have to trust them, cats.
Yes.
Right? Because if you don't give them the ball to let them shoot the ball for a little while,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even though they're professionals, they do get cold.
That's a good point.
They do get cold.
And that's where, you know what? Again, Aaron has a good point because we've been through this for every series. And we live it like, yo, we lost because this freaking guy keeps shooting. And the next game he comes back. Frankly, he does the same thing. He just won it. But this is what I would say.
All season.
It is on the coach. The coach has to, even with the great Michael Jordan, that's what Phil was able to do. Like, yo, Mike, let me explain something to you. You ain't going to be shooting the ball like that no more. I'm telling you right now, you must trust the rest of your teammates. And that's when, you started seeing Steve Kerr and these guys actually hitting game-winning shots to win championships. Right. Because Mike was just like, all right, I know I do have to kind of pass. And, that's when you hear some of the famous timeouts when he's telling Mike, like, who's open? Who is open? Yes, you're scoring, but you have to pass the ball. And so that's the part that I think that Tibbs is going to kind of have to go to Jalen and say, for us to win a championship, kid, you can hit these shots. But it's just an issue because when the games come down close like that, it's hard because everybody else is just out of rhythm because we haven't shot the ball and we're just sitting around. And I think you said that you're just kind of sitting around like, yo, go ahead.
Don't worry, you got it.
Go ahead, JB, because it's just you're gonna have to still move that ball around. I think it's a combination. Jalen's not gonna understand that he's the player. He can get it done. So I think that it is on the coach to be like, son, you're gonna have to pass the ball.
That's not going to be Tibbs.
I think
Tibbs.
No, I was going to say I think everybody answered the question but you. But
yes,
good Pacers or bad Knicks?
Yeah,
bad Knicks, definitely bad Knicks, definitely bad Knicks, most definitely bad Knicks. I think that they need a new coach. I'm going straight up. I mean, they need somebody there.
We'll get
That
Denver's coach.
That can get them gelling together.
I
That can get them to gel together. Because right now, let me ask you a question also. Here's a question. The games that they won against Boston, do you think they should have been that close?
What do you mean?
As far as the score going down to like 1, 2, the manner of them winning,
I would say.
Do you think it should have been close?
I would say no in the sense.
The games they came back, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say no in the sense of we should have never been down 20 in the first place, and I think that's solely and only because of Mikal Bridges, especially that series. He honestly did not show up until the fourth quarter, like real bad. So we always talk about getting everybody else involved, but when Mikal had his time to shine, he was radio silent. And now, if he did have his time to shine, we could have gone into the fourth maybe down 5, 6, or 7, but being down 20 is unbelievable. But to come back is impressive. Don't get me wrong, but in the sense that that's how I see it. It shouldn't have been that close because of that reason.
I feel like Mikal should be taking more shots, honestly.
He should be taking more shots?
Who? Bridges.
I feel like once
You agree?
Yes.
I feel like once he starts hitting those mid-range, those are easy shots for sure.
Yes.
And all those shots, sure, like those shots, like the ones that he missed, that shit is winning.
Yeah, so they're like short.
If he takes more shots of those,
I agree.
The Celtics series.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying,
in general.
for God's sake, keep that guy away from the 3-point line. He can't.
Who's that?
Mikal Bridges.
Keep him away from.
When he's hot, he makes
When
it.
he's hot, he'll make it,
Because
but-
he takes dumped. No, because when he's behind, I don't know what goes through his mind, but it's like his brain completely shuts down when he's behind the line. I mean, we're on a fast break. If Mikal Bridges has that ball, I'll bet my house he'll take the 3-point. I bet my house he'll take the 3-point.
Him and Cal.
But you know what? You go back to what Mark is highlighting and really hammering, and that again, and I hate to make this sound a bit on him because I love the guy. The guy is, he's brought excitement here. He's truly I feel like he's truly a New York Knick, and that's Brunson.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and I agree with Anthony. Mikal Bridges needs more shots, but that's again up to the point guard to start calling those plays. Everybody get out, Mikal, get down there in the post and do your thing. That's something that, and you talked about that a little bit about distribution of, and the Knicks have a good, talented team.
Very good team.
And this is probably not a good analogy, but if you play the game 2K, when I play the game 2K and I have a team, you have to learn how to use each player. And then once I learn how to use each player, sometimes I'll lose a game incorporating, like, I'm trying to learn how to, like I like to use Minnesota. So I'm trying to learn how to use, maybe Julius Randle. I know I can control Anthony Edwards and make him go off. But I'll use Julius Randle just so I have to figure out how do I make sure that he's incorporated in the game. So I think that's one of the things that the coach has to do, as well as the point guard, because I think you guys are right. We're giving up so much in that Mikal Bridges should be a solid 17-point guy. When he is doing his thing, he's just not consistent with it. He's not. I feel like every game we should feel his impact. There's games where it's always kind of like, did Mikal play tonight?
10 times better on the Nets when he was coming.
Yeah.
He was kind of
Just to ask
man.
you two, because you two kind of have the same thing in it. If you're Tibbs, or not even if you're Tibbs, if you're the coach, how many shots do you want Mikal Bridges to shoot per game?
Okay.
Anybody?
I say at least give him 12 to 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say the same
Yeah,
thing.
somewhere
About
around
15.
there.
Oh yeah.
15 shots.
From what I'm looking at, that's pretty much what he does right now. So I know.
What's the percentage on that, though?
I don't. For this regular season, 50%.
Well, let me say this too. That's a great question, but this is where again it comes down to point guard play and ball distribution. About when are those shots coming, right? It can't be like he keeps saying. It can't be that just in the fourth quarter. Mikal Bridges, we need to feel his impact throughout the game. That's important for us. OG Edwards, he's another guy. Like at times you're kind of like, yo, is OG playing?
And Anobi.
I'm sorry. At times you're like, is OG playing? You want to make sure that throughout the game, because it's talent there. You don't want to lose that talent throughout the course of the game. And we didn't get into that, but you guys talk a little bit about what the hell's going on with the bench. Obviously, the man is not. Well, let me ask you this: do you guys think that we have enough off the bench
Yes,
that Dip should be using?
You think we do have enough off the bench?
I do. And you should be using the point guards. What's the cat? What's the
Deuce?
is it Kolick? No.
Oh, Tyler Kolick?
He's a guard.
That's what I'm.
Which one is that?
Deuce.
I've seen a lot of people saying that they should give DeLon Wright.
DeLon White. And Archer. What's his name? Archer.
Who's that?
Landry.
Precious.
Precious Achiuwa.
Precious Achiuwa.
I agree with
Precious
you.
Achiuwa
I don't
will
think
give
he's a
you.
bomb.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. He will give you some time.
No, but I think if you put him on the floor with with Mitch, like a kind of.
I think he's a good
twin tower.
I do.
Twin tower kind of thing.
Listen, he Precious can put the ball in the basket better than Mitch.
Yeah. And
Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Coley can bring the ball up. As a matter of fact, they should have Bridges bringing the ball up. Be honest with you. But listen, it can be they have the manpower. If they have the manpower, nobody on that team, I would say that I would just bench. Just kidding. Like you said, we were just talking about Precious. And you guys don't like him. I can say he'll give you a good 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, I believe that.
Good solid 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, I believe
He definitely
good
would.
5-6
I think
minutes.
he played 6 minutes in Boston or Indiana. He had 6 points, 5 rebounds, something like that. I was like, yeah, he did great.
And if he can do that, you never know. one night he can go off. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna do what Siakam did, but you never know. You put him in.
He played the whole
You
season.
give him a shot. You know what I mean? You have to. Sometimes you have to switch up the momentum. When the other team is kind of like really, we didn't really have an answer. Sometimes you put another guy in the game and it's kind of like, oh, you know what? That was the key for us tonight. That because it just kind of changed the rhythm. I'm not sure why. Tibbs just doesn't like using the bench.
When Brunson's not on the floor,
Oh yeah,
they went up by like 4. They scored like it was like a 14 points, and this happened in the Boston series also. Whenever Brunson's not on the floor, that ball is moving fluid, and they're up, right? Same thing in the Indiana game. They scored like 14 points in a row when Brunson was not on the ball or not on the floor. Then when he gets on there, they come back.
I think it's the same way for Cat too, because the second Mitch enters the game, and I said this against the in the Detroit series. When Mitch hit the floor, his impact is like that.
Yes.
So why is it that our two superstars are killing our team?
Because Karl Anthony Towns is playing. Not saying he is. He's playing like a bum. Like he's not playing like how he should be. This is our second superstar.
Expand on that though, and speak to that. And what I'm saying, he's a bum.
Okay,
What's the
he's
problem?
not playing up to his expectation. He should be playing like he is, if not one of the superstar of the team, because he is. We rely on this guy every game to go along with Brunson and the rest of the team to at least give me 20, 25 a game at least. And as a big, getting offensive and defensive rebounds, and he's just not doing that.
Okay.
It's the problem.
That's fair.
And Brunson, we already talked about.
How many points you think he would have if he just played that? He just played this in that around that circle
What you
down
mean?
low. How
Down
many
low?
Points? Yeah.
More than he's averaging now.
Yeah.
More
100%.
And I tell you what,
100%.
and I would same thing for you, Mark. Questions for you. What is it that is Karl Anthony Towns is doing that you think is just throwing the game off when he comes in? What is it?
Shooting 3 pointers.
Yeah.
Shoot and taking those crazy shots with one hand falling back.
Oh my God!
Stupid stuff. They're not playing. It's not for this to be NBA. This is not smart basketball that they're playing.
Absolutely not.
I agree.
Not smart basketball.
But when he does get going, though.
Yeah, but when he gets going, they should be blowing. I don't care. They should be blowing these cats out.
I agree.
They should. There's no way in the world that Indiana should be up 2.
Yes.
After coming from the Boston series,
Yeah. Knicks
are you
better
kidding
team.
me?
Knicks better team.
Coming back from 20 points down,
Yeah.
beating them at home
twice.
twice.
Golly.
This is
Oh, my God.
and you guys kind of touched on it, but let's put it out there officially. What do you guys think is going to happen for the rest of this series? Do you guys think that the Knicks are done, or do we think that the New York Knicks can still come back and win this
Excited to
series?
answer this
Let's go. I mean, Anthony seems to be chopping at the bit. Let's go with Anthony first.
And as soon as they lost yesterday, he was talking about they getting swept. Like
The Knicks
Who
get
said
swept?
that?
You think so?
You know why? Because I'm a diehard Knicks fan, but I cannot
I'm a
go
diehard
against
Knicks
it. I
fan.
am, but I
Really
can't.
don't
get-
It's just like I'll tell you right now. This is when the game starts, right? I'm saying you're going to lose if they're making bad decisions,
Yeah.
But that's because listen. I can't get over the fact it's been 25 years, right? And they come into the series playing so lethargic, no energy. How can you do that? 25 years since they've been here, and they come in playing like this. So listen. Good thing I didn't have a Heineken bottle in my hand. I would probably broke my TV. That's how passionate about my Knicks. But I'm gonna say, listen. I'm gonna say they still got a chance,
Yes.
and they do.
Yeah.
We just take
But
it like
is
that.
there a but? Yeah.
I don't know. I
sounds like
can't.
it was
I
kinda right.
want to say that, but I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and I just don't want to.
No, but as a basketball.
But as a basketball fan,
Yeah.
I think they have a chance to come back.
Yeah, like the Knicks survived the Boston.
Yeah.
Like it could take maybe
They
it
can.
could take 2 or
But-
1 game at least.
I
But
think
like
they
Yeah, I think they can. I think that they'll go back if they split it. Okay.
That's trouble.
If they split it, I think that it'll be good. They can come back to New York, win, go back. They can beat them back in Indiana in Game 7 in New York. I think they can take it.
I think the Knicks just need to take one, and then they'll take off from there.
I
They need to.
I think
They need two games.
I think Indiana's head is going to be blown up now since they beat them twice in New York, and they think it's going to be over.
Yeah,
And I think
I think the Knicks need to take two down in Indiana, which I think they're so capable of. And it's interesting because the first two series, even the Detroit series, I was like, I don't know, like the Knicks is close talent-wise. But this series, I really felt like the Knicks are definitely more talented than Indiana.
Very talented.
That's when I'm like, this is very shocking to me that this is going on. I just feel like the Knicks are more talented, and the fact that they're struggling is bizarre. But I think that they can go back to Indiana, and I feel like they can win. Frankly, I feel like they can run the table on them and beat them 4 straight. I think I just think that they're that much more talented than Indiana. But as I told a guy in Walmart, the guy stopped me at Walmart. And I told him, he said, I don't watch a lot of Indiana. What do you think? I said, the problem is, and it's proven to be true, they're hot. That's the way the NBA playoffs are. It's dangerous to play against a team that's hot. The last time the Knicks went to the finals, they were hot. They were not expected to go to the finals, but they got hot with Spree and Camby and all those guys, and now it's a problem. And so with teams like that, you got to really punish them and let them know, which the Knicks was well on their way. That's why that Game 1 loss was big. Yeah. They were well on their way to proving to them, like, bro, it's time for you guys to go back to the minor leagues. It's time for you guys to do that. And then for Indiana to take that game, they were kind of like, oh, we're still hot. So I just think that it is important. I don't know. Going down 3-1, I don't know. That's going to be a problem because Indiana is a confident team. So I think that the Knicks need to tie this thing up, which I think they're more than capable of doing. And if they do that, then I feel like they can win this series.
Yeah. He was premature. You remember when he did that choke goal? Knicks beat him, came back and beat him in that series too. Yeah. What was that, 94, 95? I think it was. So it's like, you don't know.
You never know.
What's the question?
I just come back to series.
I'm still going to say I think if the Knicks win one, then they'll take off from there. I think Indiana's dangerous in the sense that they're hot with all the confidence in the world. They took down Cleveland, which nobody ever saw coming. 4-1. They took down Milwaukee, and though that was a very much tighter series, I don't think a lot of people really had them coming out of there. So they had a lot of confidence going from first round to second round, and then they just beat us twice in the Garden. Mm-hmm. So they have the most confidence out of every team in the playoffs right now.
Yes.
So that's incredibly dangerous. Yes. But I think we'll take 1 or 2 at their crib, and if we take 2, then we're gonna win the next 2.
100%.
The Knicks should win the series. There should be no reason why we lose this. I mean, you got people pouring in thousands of dollars to come watch it. You got the greatest fan base in the NBA right now. You have literal freaking streets in New York named after you.
This would be a major.
We're not asking. Well, we want a chip, but for God's sake, do not lose to the Indiana Pacers. Do not lose.
Now look. If the Knicks lose, let's talk a little bit about the fallout. Everybody's. I don't know if it will actually happen, but realistically. I think Tibbs might be in trouble.
Tibbs is going to be fine.
Now, do you move?
Keep the roster.
Do you move anybody?
Nope.
Not at all.
Keep the same roster. Just get rid of Tibbs. If we can get Mike Malone, that his name?
Yeah, I like Mike.
If we can get Mike, championship coach, knows how to run a team.
Mike would gladly.
That's a championship.
Yeah,
that's a championship.
I think I think direct hit.
I think we just need to play. I think despite how I don't think we had a high draft pick in the draft last year.
No.
I still think that we drafted really well.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Kolek, the chances that he does get to play in the league, and I've seen him play in the G League, that dude is a monster.
What's the boy that got hurt?
Ariel Hukporti.
Yeah.
I love Ariel Hukporti. That big man, he plays a lot like Mitchell Robinson, too.
Yeah.
And, if we play those guys, I think we have more than enough. I would honestly prefer, and I would love to see Cat go back down to the 4 I just can't.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't stand having him as my big man and being the only guy to have.
Might as well if
get
you're not
rebound.
going to be anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't stand it, and these guys crucify me whenever I say to put Josh
Put the
Hart
guy
on the
at the
bench.
shooting guard
But
at that point.
I
No,
personally
I
would
don't
put Josh
disagree
Hart on
with
the
that.
bench and start Mitch. But that's next season when everybody's healthy. So I have Cat. Josh could be his backup, and I have Mitch and Ariel could be his backup.
Wait, hold on. You got Josh Hart coming off the bench?
I have Josh.
Yeah.
Hart.
Crazy.
I don't like
You
that.
crazy.
I don't like that.
Crazy.
Who are you benching?
He's a
Mitch.
look, he's a magnet.
I said if they start Mitch, Josh would be the one to go on the bench. I didn't say that they're going to do that. I'm saying
Is that
in
what you want to see, though?
Yes.
I would be okay with that too.
What?
with Mitch over Josh.
With Josh Hart coming to the
I
bench.
don't know. But Josh is that. Josh is the David is the Rodman for the Knicks.
No, he can give you a couple buckets.
You know, he's the Rodman
yeah,
for the Knicks. So
yeah.
you gotta have him. He's the heart. Just
So-
he's the heart of the Knicks. It's like you put him on the floor, he's doing everything that he can. He didn't have to score, and he's making the right moves and the right plays.
So you keeping the lineup same way?
I keep the line up the same way. I would not switch it up because you need those stuff. You need all types of plays on.
I just think that would be good for Josh to also be like that extra fire piece off the bench. Too.
Yeah, I'm not
I
opposed
think-
to that. And let him finish the games if
yeah,
it comes to it. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I never know.
Yeah, never know. I mean, I wouldn't be like that's outrageous
No, it's not, no.
to put him off the bench because, like I said, Josh is one type of guy that even if he's come off the bench, he's one type of guys that like, this dude plays more minutes. than
Yeah,
everybody.
no
Still.
disrespect to Josh. He's
Nah,
he's the
nah.
heart and soul of
Yeah,
his team.
You know
This
what I mean?
dude.
But I do like that idea of.
But I think he's not one of those. He's not one of those shooters though.
He's not.
He's not a
He's
shooter.
not one of those shooters. So I mean, coming off the bench, yeah. I mean, that's why I said when you come off the bench, you want some firepower off the bench. You know,
Yes, that's
some
true.
firepower.
He's
So
one. But we don't have firepower off the bench.
No, we gotta work on
At
that.
all.
I mean, well,
I know.
We have enough firepower to come
Do
on
we
the bench.
have a player off the bench that's capable of getting 15 a night?
Deuce McBride?
Deuce
can get-
Yeah, I think so.
Deuce can get 15 a night.
If he gets good minutes, he will get
Yeah, I think
15.
so. Consistent man, Deuce. I feel comfortable. And Deuce is, you gotta remember, Deuce is young, so he'll get better. You know what I mean? I'm very happy with how he's performed for a young kid. He's taking some big shots here in his playoffs, and he makes them. So I'm pleased with him. I think I'm comfortable with him coming off the bench and being, one of the lead guys off the bench. I do think we probably need another guy, but it could be the kid that was hurt, maybe. What's his name? You just mentioned his name.
Ariel?
Yeah, he could be another guy come off the bench to score some points. You don't think so? So we
Because
would need
Tibbs don't like playing big men.
No, but Tibbs was saying Tibbs got to go.
No, Tibbs gotta go. Don't get me wrong, but we'll see how he plays. I feel like he plays exactly like Mitchell Robinson, but
You don't think he put the ball in the hole better than Mitch?
nah.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
He's more athletic than Mitch, I will say, but when it comes to putting the ball in the hole, I think Mitch will take it.
He's
Because
just a descendant of Jericho Sims, what you're saying.
Huh?
He's just a descendant of Jericho Sims.
Another Jericho Sims type?
He's another Jericho Sims.
Ariel?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ariel's way better at defense than Jericho Sims ever will be.
Well, let's in the last half of this pivot to a couple of other quick hitters. Let's talk about the West Coast, and let's also talk about NBA MVP and All NBA. Actually, let's talk a little bit about the Western Conference Series. My guys, I'm in heaven because, as I said, two of my favorite teams, my all-time team is the New York Knicks, but I always usually have a West Coast team, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. My favorite player in the league is Anthony Edwards. Big fan of his. He's struggling. I think that this series, and I have to eat a little bit on this one.
Before, I would like an apology, please.
For what?
Julius Randle.
What?
Julius Randle.
What's
I would like an apology.
For what?
You came over here attacking me on the last podcast, talking about Julius Randle. He's on a high. He's not going to do bad. I told you. I told you.
That's
He was
not
bound,
worth an apology.
I told you he was bound to wet the bed. And then guess what? He did it the exact next game. I would like an
He
apology.
has 6 points.
I agree, but it's not like I was sitting here telling you Julius Randle was going to be an end-all be-all. I said he played well the first half of that game.
6 points.
All right, that's not worth an apology.
Are you serious?
No, that's not worth an apology.
That's
God.
awful.
But listen, Oklahoma City. Now, if you wanted to challenge me on, me sticking up for my Minnesota Timberwolves, I can give you that one. I'm a little bit surprised at, frankly, how well Oklahoma City is handling the Minnesota
I definitely
Timberwolves.
thought the series would be a little bit
Yeah, I
tougher.
mean, they're doing it fairly easily, you know what I mean? And Anthony Edwards appears to be a bit out of sorts and a bit confused, and frankly, he's getting outplayed by the league MVP.
Shea.
Which, Shea is really, really,
Very good.
he's just one of them guys that you kind of like, damn, he's really good, man. No flash to his game, but he is a sensational.
They take you apart.
He takes you apart. And guys, talk a little bit about what we're seeing, what you guys are seeing in that series, Oklahoma City and Minnesota Timberwolves. Man.
You really can't do anything with Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
You really can't do anything about him, bro. Shea, great player.
Yeah.
I mean, averaging like 14 free throws per game.
Yeah.
But, you know.
We're well worth it, though. He's not a flopper. I don't think he's a flopper.
What?
You think
Oh,
he is?
he is.
No.
Wait. Now hold on. I don't want to relocate to a different conversation, but I hate when you guys talking about Shea like free throws aren't a part of the game. Like
Name one player
like
in the
driving-
league other than Shea that shoots more than 10
like
free throws per
driving
game.
isn't a part of the game. Like
He goes
James
to the basket,
Harden,
though.
James Harden could this is free.
James Harden was foul baiting, and that was clear.
Yeah, but
No
one
offense,
difference.
I know that's your boy,
One
but
difference.
you know he was foul baiting
One
that MVP
difference-
season.
One difference between Harden and Shea. Harden was going to the line 13, 14 times a guy by shooting the ball behind the 3-point line. Shea taking that ball to the basket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He taking that ball to the basket. So I can't really be mad at this dude. If you drawing fouls and you going to the basket, to me that's well
Yeah, create the contact.
Aaron, let me cut you off on that.
No, who's talking?
Oh, you just
Yeah.
finishing up. Did you finish with your Minnesota and OKC?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Shea, he's a great player.
He's really
he
good,
is a
man.
great player.
Yeah, he's good. Your thoughts, Aaron? If any thoughts on the Oklahoma City and Minnesota series?
I mean, Shea's obviously playing great. He's looking like the second best player in the league behind Nikola Jokic.
We'll get to you. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
He's playing well. He's getting his shots.
Yes.
And I don't
I was disappointed.
know what's
So
going
far,
on with Ed,
So far.
but he's bound to go off.
I think so.
I think he'll start because once and he really takes things to heart. Like
Yes, he does. I
like
love
that in that
about him.
Lakers series, he took that Lakers in 5, that whole meme. He really took that.
Yeah, he went to the streets of LA and was talking
Yeah, I love that
crazy.
about
He took that to heart. He takes things personally. So
I love that.
I feel like he's
Somebody
gonna
tried to dab him up. He said,
he's gonna start going on.
I love that about Anthony Edwards, and that goes both ways. When he gets cooked, he'll tell you like, "I'm not gonna front. I couldn't hang." So I like that about him. You know what I mean? And when he talks the talk when he's doing his thing. Mark, what do you think about that series in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back, piggyback over what you said about Anthony first, but I like a player that will go out and tell you if somebody asks you who's the best on the floor, you better say you are the best on the floor.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you shouldn't be on the floor.
Yes.
That's what I like about Anthony also. But in the series, you gotta understand, OKC has a couple all defensive players on that team.
Yes.
They're big, they're long. You can't do nothing with them.
They better not-
And they talk, they move, they know where to be. So
Yes.
it's not surprising.
Well coached.
It's not surprising to me that they are where they are because of their defense.
Well coached.
You know, and playing smart basketball.
Yes.
They're playing very smart basketball.
Well coached team.
You know, and just like he deserves. I mean, it's Nokovic, the Joker, great player. When you say that, he's looking like the second best player in the league. I think Joker also got him, but
You would agree. We'll get to that in a minute.
but
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to Isaiah, your wrap up on
he
OKC.
is definitely doing his thing. Definitely
I
doing
won't
his
kill Ant-Man as much as you all are.
not
He
sure.
definitely had a bad first game, but second game he played really well. I just think him and Julius Randle need to get on the same page.
Yeah.
Julius Randle had a pretty good game the first game, but Ant kind of didn't. The second game, Ant had a really good game, and Julius Randle probably had the worst shooting of this season.
Probably the worst on the Knicks.
I think those two need to line up. I think Rudy Gobert needs to stop shooting behind the back shots. I I swear they were on a fast
What the heck
break.
was that? What was that?
He was on a fast
I
break.
don't know what that was.
They gave him the ball. He turned around and shot that ball over his head.
Remember that? We was like, what the?
Are you? I know Ant-Man cursed him out in the locker room because Ant don't play.
Yeah.
So
He's always sleeping.
I think the whole team just needs to connect. I think Dante needs to step up a little bit more for his team. He definitely has been quiet, and Aaron always says he hasn't done what he's done over there, what he did on the Knicks. But that's just because the Knicks was a perfect fit for Dante.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of taking a step back, but he needs to kind of come back up and take that step up. I haven't really watched and paid attention to Nas Reed, so y'all gonna have to tell me about that one. But it's just so hard to play a team where if you were to list the top 5 players, they probably have 4. You can make an argument that they
Minnesota?
have. No.
Oh, you mean
OKC.
OKC? Who was that? Who would you say?
SGA,
Yeah.
J-Dub, Chet, and who else they got on their team? Who's their shooting guard?
And Lou Dort.
Nah.
No,
Dort's pretty good.
Dort
though.
is good.
Yeah, he's
Dort
pretty
is
good.
good.
No,
No, but like to be top 5. So what you got? Those 3. Anthony Edwards obviously would be in the top 5. So I get all right. So I say 3. I'll give it to Julius Randle over Isaiah Hartenstein. But Isaiah Hartenstein is playing really, really well this series. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about that 6 points.
Should have never left the Knicks, man.
6
Never
points.
left the Knicks.
That hurts him,
6
man.
points in 32 minutes.
He does that.
That's a toss-up. You can tell me who's playing better this series. If you say Isaiah Hartenstein, I won't kill you. If you say Julius Randle, I won't kill you. So that OKC either has 3 or 4 of the best players on the team. So it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's a tough 4 series so far. I think you said I think Anthony Edwards will get himself together. Obviously, at some point, no doubt about it. And like you said, he had a pretty good game too. I don't know. I just feel like in watching them, like OKC is just really. I haven't seen a whole lot of OKC during the year. The boys always have been praising OKC. This is the first time I really kind of watch it. I'm like, these guys are really good. My concern with them was just, and they get mad at me when I say it, but my concern was just, playoff experience. And I thought that the Denver series, they proved a lot. They had Denver was not going to let them have it. Jokic, and I guess will lead us into that, the conversation. Jokic and Murray are champions. And they really put the challenge back on OKC, and they answered the bell. There was one game that I watched, I thought that Denver was going to pull it out, and OKC just refused to let them, do it. It might have been games. I forget which game it was.
Definitely wasn't.
Game 5.
Game 7 was.
It was game 5 because I thought that OKC was going to finish it in game 6, and Denver surprisingly came back and actually won game 6.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you guys want to speak to that, let's give shout out to Shea. He actually got the MVP. But we have the discussion all year long, and Aaron all year long has been adamant that Jokic is the MVP. That's he can't back off of that. He's been saying that all year long. Just to go around the table, you guys think that Aaron is correct in saying that Jokic is the MVP?
I do. He's the guy. Just look at his numbers. I mean, I like I said, I think Shea got the MVP because of the record.
Yes.
You think it's because of the record or because he won the series?
That's because he won the series.
Just because, I think it
was a record.
No, I think it was the record series. I think it was both. It was the combination, but just because of the record, that's the best record in the NBA.
Yeah.
But you kid Joker, you can't take nothing away from that guy. That guy is, and as you said, he just does things so easily. Yeah. So slow, and people wonder why is he so slow doing this stuff? Because he's just so meticulous. He just cuts you up. He sees the whole floor. Right? Big man seeing the whole floor, making those shots, those passes. Come on, the numbers. The numbers is there.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna interject something real quick. It hopefully doesn't start a fire. But these guys are always talking about the older school players and saying that they can't hang with the new school players, right? Mm-hmm. But Jokic to me is an example of why. Like, we get into this argument all the time about Larry Bird, and I try to explain to these dudes, like, I'm not gonna front. As good as Jokic is, to me, he's not better than Larry Bird, in my opinion. Larry Bird was that good. What? If you watch Larry Bird, he was very slow, the same way. but he can shoot the ball. As Jokic can shoot, but Larry Bird can shoot the ball better than Jokic.
I think like I can count on my hand how many times he dunked the ball, right?
Bird?
Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Same thing for Jokic. Jokic don't dunk either.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then, like you said, those guys like Larry Bird, I can't even put any words how good he is. I mean, when they said, I don't know if you, Larry Bird said that when they used to play like pickup ball, when they used to put a white dude on Larry Bird,
Disrespectful.
that was very disrespectful.
You got a
Very disrespectful. You got
that
upset.
good.
It was that
You
good.
think
Yes.
overall player wise, Larry Bird is better than Jokic?
To me.
Player, not career, just player.
Yeah. If I was picking a team and I had it and they said, okay, you can pick first Jokic or Bird, I'm picking Larry Bird. Again, that's not a knock, as he always says, I'm not knocking Jokic, but to me, that's just how good Larry Bird was to me. Like,
I catch a straight.
I'm just saying, that's to me how good Larry Bird was, in my opinion. It's okay. He was that good, in my opinion, just in terms of the things that he can do. He can do a little bit more. All of those things that you guys see Jokic. That's why I always say, like, if Jokic is this nice in this era, I know that Bird would have been able to. Because people actually make the statements like, "Yo, Jordan, if he played in this era, wouldn't be that good." What?
He'd probably score like
Probably
5
be
points.
better. There's no
What are you talking
defense.
about? Yeah, what are you talking about? I don't want to divert there, but all NBA, Isaiah, what we got for all NBA team? I know there was some controversy with that. I know for us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna comment on NBA, but you can read it out first.
Yeah, read it out first.
I would just like.
So you can go first.
All NBA first team reads the MVP, SGA, the runner-up, Nikola Jokic, the third person in place, Giannis, fourth, Tatum, fifth, Donovan Mitchell. That's the first team.
And I'll let you,
So
I'll let
take
you
it
go first.
team by team.
No, keep going.
Oh.
Hey, you
No,
guys
no,
want to
take-
evaluate the team?
Yeah, let's go with.
Oh,
let's just
I mean,
go.
I think that well, I wanted to say Jalen Brunson. In my opinion, I don't know if I'm mean by it. I feel like he's a better player than Donovan Mitchell, but I guess I can understand why he got first team because of the record and stuff.
Yes.
But I just feel like Jalen Brunson belongs there, in my opinion, more than Donovan Mitchell. There. Not to say that Donovan Mitchell is a complete stranger and he shouldn't be there. I just think that Brunson
Second
would be a
team.
better fit.
I think Jalen. Anthony
Jalen
was the
was-
second team. I think Jalen should have been first team, but yeah.
I think Jalen should have been first team too, over Donovan.
I think I like the first team.
You keep Donovan?
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah,
Fake Knicks fan.
I'm just saying, Donovan Mitchell is nice.
He had a good season too, and like you said, they had the best record in the league, right? Or certainly East Coast.
Yeah.
East.
So that's big.
Fell
I
off.
mean, that's a big deal.
But they're similar plays, and I think that at
Yes.
that point, you go by the record.
Yes, I agree. Second team.
Second team reads your favorite player, Anthony Edwards. His favorite player, Steph Curry. LeBron James, Jalen Brunson, and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley.
No.
Evan Mobley made an All NBA All right, now you got it.
So
Go ahead.
now we just spent the whole episode bashing Karl Anthony Towns, but I mean, let's be honest.
He's right though.
We're saying that Evan Mobley had a better season. That don't even come down to the record at that point because he's not even the second best player on the team. And we're saying that he's better and had a better season than Karl Anthony Towns. I don't think.
Absolutely.
Karl Anthony Towns.
not.
Listen, you hit it right in the head. That was a great point. We killing Karl Anthony Towns, but he had a very good season. He really
Phenomenal
did.
season.
Yeah,
Very
and when he
phenomenal.
came here, listen. For me, and I'm being honest, I never liked Karl Anthony Towns. These guys will tell you. I was saying I will take anybody over Karl Anthony Towns. Please don't trade for this guy. And of course, the Knicks trade for Karl Anthony Towns. But with that being said, I'm not gonna lie. As the year went on, I was kind of like, all right, you know what? Not bad. I mean, Tibbs during the course of the season cut down because he was taking way more threes in Minnesota than he does now. So I was like, not bad. So from that standpoint, he had a good season. He won me over. I'm not too pleased with what he's doing in the playoffs, but certainly he should have been on the second team.
100%.
Oh, at least he got third, right?
At least he got
I think
somewhere.
everybody on the third team deserved to make second team.
Yeah,
over Evan Mobley.
I agree with that. Yeah.
In my opinion, I really have to look at like who's eligible and who qualified, but there's no way you could pick another person over Evan Mobley.
Yes.
Yeah, who was in the third team? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Third team was Cade Cunningham. Should be over Evan Mobley.
Yes, yes.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
Whatever. I'm kind of I can't really rep him right now, but whatever. James Harden.
Really?
James Harden, you know, he played without Kawhi, so he really did have a phenomenal season for most of the part. Karl Anthony Towns and J-Dub from OKC, Jalen Williams.
So no LeBron James, no Luka.
Luka was second team.
Second
I think Luka might have missed too many games because there's no way you're gonna tell me Luka.
Right.
Luka didn't make it over Evan Mobley. There's no. He better have missed too many games.
Don't mean to spark up an argument here, but I would like to say publicly that LeBron James is, in my opinion, the greatest of all time now.
Now?
Whoa. Why would you say
Because
that
he made
now?
an All NBA team at 40 years old.
Well, with all the accomplishments, and this dude's 40 years old, making an All NBA team in a stacked league.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I would like to switch over to Team James.
Yeah. Look, the whole LeBron James thing, you can never. The guy is that good that, you know, again, if anybody says that, I'm not going to say you're crazy. So I always think when people have this argument, they start going crazy, comparing him to Jordan. It's just that for me, and Mark as well, the thing is this. It's hard, these conversations about comparing eras. It's hard to compare a guy that you never saw their actual career. Like for me, like you asking about Larry Bird, like I saw Larry Bird career. And I've seen like actual games where you're like, yo, they can't win this game. And this dude did stuff that, and I hated Larry Bird. And you're sitting there like, I don't believe this dude just did that. And I'm a New York Knicks fan, so I don't like Michael Jordan. And so the things that I saw him do, I never saw no man do on the basketball court before. So for me, and I witnessed LeBron's whole career, just talent-wise, there will never be anybody that can do what I seen Michael Jordan do. For me, that guy is just... Okay. If you're talking about stats, yes, no problem. I'm with you. You know what I mean? Obviously, the guy is...
If I played 20 years, if Mike played 20 years too, he'd also have 7
Yeah, but he didn't. And LeBron James did it. It give him mad credit for playing 20 years and being at the level that he is. But just to me, on just raw eye talent of what I saw, I never seen anybody play like Michael Jordan before. I never saw that.
Then you can also, I think that you can also say, like, to put it this way, they changed the rules in basketball just because. No, they changed the rules, in basketball just because of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, they had schemes in Detroit when Michael Jordan came there. They just wanted to beat him up.
Yeah.
And he still ended up scoring what?
Still scored, right? Still dominating.
You played the Knicks back then. Those cats beat you up.
Yeah.
You know, you had a couple plays. You had a couple plays of Lakers, which was good. You know.
Yeah.
But you had the Oakleys and all that. Their game plan was just to beat up Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And he still came out on top, scoring and winning games. So
we never beat him.
Now we can say that LeBron, he's big. He probably could have, survived that era, but could he have put up those many points in that era that he's doing now?
I think he could.
You think he could?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think any. When people say that, for me,
He's definitely bigger than Jordan too.
yeah, I don't think anybody. If you put guys in different, unless you're talking about putting people all the way back from the '60s or taking somebody from the '60s, where just the men just physically weren't the same. But anywhere to me from the '80s until now, you can interchange. Magic Johnson will dominate today. LeBron James would dominate in the '80s. I just feel that way. You know what I mean? They would have adjusted their game. LeBron James is a big dude, so I don't think he would have necessarily had problems competing. Nah, I don't think so.
Me neither.
I don't think
But
so.
then, like you said, body wise, right? Because he can deal with him because he was big.
Yeah, he's a big
So
dude.
now with Michael Jordan in this era,
Yes.
you can't touch him.
No.
You know anybody now? It'd be totally different. So, like you said, it's hard to.
It's hard to say, but I respect that. Like I said, I can't take that. Anybody who says they feel LeBron James is the best player of all time, that's fair. Like I said, I just saw Jordan, and I'm just saying, like, if I had to pick, I'd never seen anybody dominate as a professional, I mean, out of any professional, this is crazy. Out of any professional athlete I've ever seen in any sport, I've never seen somebody be as dominant as that dude. Like, he was so good that the next superstar in the sport was like, yeah, we're not going to win until... I never seen anybody do that. Like, they knew, like, we're not beating the Bulls. Yeah. You're talking about pro players are like, yeah, they're just going to win. And Grant Hill was I'm not beating Michael Jordan, which is amazing to me. So I've never seen anybody feel that way about LeBron. They always feel like, we're gonna beat him. But I've never seen a situation where, people feel like no matter what, that's not gonna, we're not gonna beat him. So much credit to him, on that level.
Yeah, when he took that break to go play baseball, can you imagine how many teams were happy?
And then he came back and won 3 more.
They were like, oh God, we got a chance now. And
yes.
then,
Yes.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, anybody else got anything else on the table that we want to wrap up with? Again, we want to go around the table real quick to say Knicks win or lose the series.
I'll go Knicks in 7.
Knicks in 7?
That's my first time saying 7.
Knicks in 7. Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6. Oh, so you got them sweeping it out. I kind of see that myself.
Knicks in 6.
I'm going to say 7.
I think Knicks in 6. I feel like Knicks gonna just sweep it out. Maybe
What they did to the New York fans for the 2 first games, they got to bring them back for Game 7 to blow them out.
So there you have it. On Second Thought Sports Show on the Mental Conditioning Sports podcast. Great show today. We welcome our guys back. We're going to have them back in here certainly by the time the finals. We got to get it back on. But thank you to our special guests, Mark and Anthony. Isaiah.
Like and subscribe.